I'm Val. I have a pottery in southwest France. I'm very lucky and I've been potting virtually all my life. Once we moved here, we had the opportunity to set up a pottery studio in a lovely old barn that we have here, which was ideal for having classes. Through the classes I've met a really nice bunch of people who are all like-minded, quite creative, and it's a very vibrant, very creative group.
See my latest.
You're brilliant.
I think I love the kiln gods.
I knew of a woman who has an Anagama kiln nearby, and 5 or 6 of us got together and we decided it'd be quite fun to look further at the Anagama firing and how it works.
So I'm Harriet Coleridge and I've been a potter 40 years now this year. In 2001 I bought a house in France and met a potter, Raphael Maillard, and his girlfriend, who were hoping to set up a pottery and to build a kiln. So they rented the house for a couple of years and built the Anagama out in the garden. It's quite big, it's about 5 metres long and I think 1.5 metres wide. Built a bit like a caterpillar or like a cave and slightly uphill. So the firebox is at one end, the flue is at the other end, all the pots go in, and then you simply put all the logs in the front and the smoke and the flame weaves through and goes up the flue, leaving marks on the pots.
Together we were very keen to give it a go, so everybody created pots in a style slightly different to what we normally do.
Hi, I'm Roger. I have been potting since about 15 years now, when I first came down to the Dordogne with a different teacher. And the reason that I was interested in pottery was because as a young boy at home in England, my parents got a television for the Queen's coronation, and soon after that they started showing very short films on the television, one of which was called The Potter's Wheel, and I was absolutely fascinated to see a lump of clay just being thrown onto a wheel and creating a wonderful pot.
We all created pots using quite a strong clay, quite a groggy clay.
Yeah, it's very groggy.
Very groggy, much groggy than anything.
And I find it quite difficult. It's so strong that I'm pushing out so much, but it's not really.
It's not listening. No, it's got a.
Well done, Roger. That is absolutely fantastic. Well done to you.
Lovely. Super. Well done.
And I've started doing this, look. I put it in front of the fire to dry.
Hi, I'm Julie and I've been doing pottery for about 3 years now.
This pot is dry and I'm going to build it up higher like this and make it all wibbly wobbly. And then I'm going to stick I want to make a strip of crackly stuff on the top. I think that would be interesting.
I absolutely love pottery, and when I heard about the potential for this Anagama project, I really wanted to get involved in it because it sounded like something amazing, and indeed it was, and it was a fascinating experience.
Turn the turntable for me, thank you.
Which way? This way or the
That
other?
would be great. That would be just great.
We had a brief that we could make 2 pots, and they had to be very textured, which is not like the kind of pots I normally make.
You've got 1 hour to make your thing.
I know.
I would just put pieces.
You've got 6 hours to make a toilet.
I know. Oh, so smart.
Hello, my name is Rosine, and I do believe I'm probably the least experienced potter of the group. I would definitely call myself a novice. I've only been doing pottery for about a year, a little over a year.
I've already put it.
Val came to us and said, would we like to participate in this experience of doing this Anagama firing? Well, I knew nothing about Anagama or what it meant. So I said, of course, I would love to. It was an interesting build. We all were told to make them a bit textured, and I took that idea and ran with it. So my piece is very textured.
This is the most cattywampy. Much more important.
Pam is an amazing potter. She is extremely talented. She's not just a potter, she's an artist.
Give it a bit of strength in the bottom. And then I'll do what Val did and put a band along the top.
Pam has been a real inspiration for me, and I really liked what she was doing with one of her vases that actually put the very textured belt around her piece. So that's where this inspiration for me came from. So thanks, Pam.
The way these are round, you know, it's not the strip, it's a coil, that's quite, I think that's, I don't know,
It's
do
also
much
very.
more.
It's
No, I
also.
think that's enough.
It's very pan, isn't
It's
it?
very
Yeah.
pan.
Is it?
exactly.
It is.
Don't know what that means.
We had a lot of fun creating pots. I created two, a little sort of faceted bowl and a little jug, which I based on a sort of a John Leech pot, which I've had for ages. Makes that terribly rough, isn't it? I mean, it gets such a rough finish to it. But I think what I do when I clean it, I'll make that pretty.
Swans.
It's a whale tail.
Oh what?
A whale tail.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's going to
Oh, the spoons.
spoons in the kiln. Got them in this time.
Yeah.
Squeeze between all the other things, but I think it was great to have created that little structure for them to sit
Yes,
in.
yes.
Because otherwise, I think we might have done.
Because if you measured it, you'd probably get it
No,
wrong.
but they do the absolutely both patterns.
Isn't that astonishing?
It's because I'm so skillful.
Of course it is. We all are.
Right, we'll see what this looks like. Oh, I hope I haven't spoilt it.
Ah, you've got yours in situ.
Well, that's busy. I'd say you're done.
I've always loved making bowls, really, and I've always wanted to make beautiful big bowls. I was realising it would be difficult to throw, but what I hadn't taken into account was how difficult it would be to even take it off the wheel, because they weigh about 15 pounds.
And sometimes standing is really good, actually.
Your wheel's so good though because you can really get your weight over it.
But I thought, well, I must at least give it a go, because after 40 years, you ought to be able to make a big bowl. And much more than 40 years, and you might lose the capacity. A really big rip, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you go for it?
So I thought I must try it. And actually, when I did it, it just came right. It wasn't as hard as I thought, and didn't even make much mess. I mean, I could even have done it almost without wearing an apron. It's always coming from the middle, over the bowl. up, I think, rather than out.
Yes.
Just remember Alan saying that.
Really?
Breathe, don't hold your breath when you...
Yeah, that is a thing, isn't it? You
I think if
get
I
all
really learned
tense,
to
you've
do
got to
that
be
recently.
relaxed, haven't you?
It's a lovely, lovely thing to make when they go right. If they go wrong, it's a lot of clay. It was, I think, 15 pounds. So if it goes wrong and you're fighting it, it's like fighting a small mountain. But if it goes right and it's just centred, it's all in the centering at the beginning. If you centre it at the start and manage to open it up without knocking it off centre, then really it makes itself. So I'd like to make more while I still can. So
Okay.
actually turned out it's quite hard to go that wrong, because it seems to just a mud
Because it's nice and big. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's better. I might just do a little bit of a splosh, which is a bit. I think I'll just do a splosh. That's enough, probably. Maybe just one more. Oh, gorgeous. Almost all the pots that I fire go in with no glaze at all. They have a couple of slips and they might be glazed inside. But all the colour comes just from the interaction of the flame, the atmosphere and the constituents of the clay. I'll show you the book. This is liquid wax. I'm probably being super fastidious, and a lot of potters might say, what on earth is she doing? Sometimes drips of glaze can be perhaps an artistic addition, but I don't particularly want them. And if the wax is there, it's just easier, because you'll see you fill the pot up with glaze and then pour it out. And if the wax is there, it just makes that process easier. like a glass of wine, or shall I make it for tartars?
Yeah, stream. Yeah. You can say good, next glowing.
That brick is soaking. Just put that on there.
Just set us to
So that
anything
would be
that you would
fabulous.
like us to do. All the straw removed? You want
Exactly.
All the straw removed.
That would be really lovely. This I've left here so that we can put all the detritus in it. It's still very, very damp. I mean, I think it's soaking wet under the kiln. I'm a bit kind of distracted because, I've got to think, once we're firing, it's non-stop.
It is
Kind
what
of
it
good,
is.
but it's not quite, you haven't got quite so much going on in your head. Did I go on?
You do wrap them up.
Yeah, so that's what I've just made. I hadn't actually packed the kiln solo before. Well, I wasn't solo. I was with Frederique, who has a lot of pots in there too. But neither of us had packed a kiln before on our own. Except it's, yeah. Oh. Yeah, well, too bad.
Ah oui, à l'intérieur.
Last year, I put in some at that back, which had been in before, really disappointing, and they came out gorgeous. So you can't do it too often, I think. But this one just didn't really get the flame. And here, I think you've got ash and stuff that didn't melt. And if it melts, it might be something gorgeous.
Le couvercle.
Oui, et pas beaucoup.
Perhaps too high.
Well, exactly. For le couvercle, petite boule,
Okay.
s'il vous plaît. Essentially, most of the effects come from flame, but when you're not using glaze, the other effects you can get are from added things such as seashells. And the shells will actually disappear in the firing, but they'll leave a mark. You can lay the pots on seashells, or you can lay pots inside other pots with shells separating them. Oh no, this one's going to go up
Alors,
there.
how
Oh,
high?
that's perfect. Woo! Might even get
Alors,
one of these.
c'est too large, no?
I don't know, I think it just might.
Ah, perhaps.
And then at the whole top. That is just perfect. I know it looks as if I'm putting in all my pots, but they just fit. Right. Yeah, this is better because this one's very flat. Actually, that makes it stronger than that. That should work. Je vais poser ça. Ça marche.
Je te l'amène, mais à mon avis, ça passe pas. Oui, il faut mesurer.
Non, tu as eu.
Non, non, non.
Wow, that works well. Just put that. C'est parfait, je pense.
Ça marche. Hein.
Juste, vraiment
25.
Peut-être comme ça et après des pots autour.
Oui, des pichets ou alors.
Et il y a beaucoup d'espace.
Oui, il y a de
qui reste
l'espace
là.
encore là.
Peut-être
Ça,
ici.
tu mets ça derrière. Oui, oui, il y a encore de l'espace là.
Peut-être celui-ci. Ça c'est qui? Bon,
Voilà.
parfait.
Ouais, ça marche. Tiens.
See if that I can go back more. No. That goes there. That goes there. Parce que je veux protéger la boule parce que le bois va comme ça.
Là, ça va.
Voilà, plus tard.
Ouais, enfin, il faut refaire.
Encore, il y a,
Oui, il y a de la place
d'espace
encore
là.
là. Ouais.
Et aussi, peut-être on peut faire un galet. This firing felt a bit daunting because when we arrived it had been raining every single day for about 7 months, and so everything was absolutely soaked. And when we were packing the kiln, the water was actually slopping over our boots.
But you need a little piece of rope to go from there to that corner.
But luckily Rafa arrived in time and he built a trench which had quite obvious advantages. The water was diverted, and by the time we came to light the kiln, it wasn't actually afloat.
To allow the water to go in that direction. When Elisa out, that's a good sign for the rain.
Yeah, it's actually quite dry up there. You might get sunburnt working out here. One can hope.
Wait a second there, it's a lump there. Sorry. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
This will do the trick.
This one perhaps couchon, but not so important.
Pas couchon, couché.
Couché. Okay. Comme ça. Yeah, I think that'll work. The effects of the Anagama are hugely dependent on the pack. It's not like packing the larder. You have to put thought into where every pot is and what might happen to it. So you really have to think in 3 dimensions.
stirring and taking all the ash around.
Yes. So we can begin to put the brick
Yeah.
for this.
Yep.
Okay. God, that is really amazing. Yeah, that's great for the lid, I think. I mean, let's see if I've done them right. But
Go.
I think we put it, maybe I can't, you say? Okay, well, I don't know. Well, no, you know where it goes. Ah oui. Oh, yeah.
Peut-être deux.
C'est possible,
Sur
bien.
les deux murs.
Que ça tient pas. Ouais. Oui, c'est bon. Ça suffit, on fait. Oui, ça va. Oui, ça va. Peut-être une coquille sur l'épaule. On va regarder si c'est possible.
They have a phone.
Yes! But I left my waterproof boots in the rain because I left them on the other terrace when it was sunny.
It is? On va
And I
prendre
forgot,
ça.
I went out the other
Ah oui,
door.
ça c'est... Ah ben voilà, parfait. Merci.
I'm no good at the shells. Oh! Quick, Frederique's going to put a double shell between my jug and her piece, and that will be it. Last night we said, okay, 9 o'clock tomorrow. And I went to bed and I thought, I'm going to tell Frederique I don't want to be getting up early and trying to keep asleep. And I sent her a text about 7. And she was asleep actually. So we didn't start till about 10 today.
Il y a des coquillages partout.
Good work. Good work, eh?
Well done. I think that was good work. Yeah. Well done.
These are slightly different, so maybe like the first one. Narrow. You can tell by the weight. Exactly. There's time now. Oh, and you're running from there. So this is broken lintel. Yeah, these are all take part in this.
That's right.
C'est facile.
So smooth. Yes.
That from the back to the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit like, a bit creep. They're kind of creeps. Do you know what I mean? Vindictive creeps. they can't read the room.
Go for it. Little by little. They know how it. Perfetto.
Boom.
You put at the top, they burn slower, and then you can see the flame going.
Yeah. But it is going that way.
Ouais. Donc ça y est, c'est parti.
If you're not using glaze, the effects on the pots are coming from the atmosphere and the flame, but the flame obviously is governed really by the wood, so you get very different effects from different kinds of wood. Wherever you are, you want to use the kind of wood that is available locally.
Be careful with the door. I'm gonna pull the door in the side, okay? Very cold. Nobody touch it.
Okay.
For example,
No, it goes.
Well, it's going. You could do that.
For the last firing, we had mainly chestnut. I had quite a lot of pine. We had oak, which was mostly old oak beams that I'd had for a long time. So it was quite a lot of oak. Is good because you get a short flame, but it's like very deep heat. So if you want to build up the heat, the oak holds the heat for longer, and it's obviously a very hard wood. Pine gives you a very long flame, and if you need to get heat quickly, pine is very handy. For the side stoking, where halfway down the kiln we have channels, and you put in very long, very, very thin pieces to get the heat to the back.
So that, I think that is changing a bit, isn't it? That
yeah,
flame
it's
is
not
more
black smoke anymore, it's proper
I
established
think
flame.
it's starting to get a bit more of an established flame, which is what we want.
It's that lovely slow flame. Just got to be careful not to cook my phone.
I love that when it does that.
It's like waves of lava.
Awesome. You need a bit of a break to let somebody take over for a bit. Yeah, back to that. When it's steam flame, it's almost that sort of...
Steam? It's smoke.
Smoke.
Good girl. The smoke.
I guess
What are you doing?
everyone begins a drawing.
No.
Only one? No?
Everyone.
If it works, it works. It's just the other one that's falling in. Everybody's a bit frantic.
Laisse, ouais. Elle est un peu petite.
Right, so somebody can start this. Oh, we need to look at that as well.
Remember, my hands is, I train my hands.
Should we just pick up straight? Like, you can put it in here.
Do it like that. Gently, I don't know how much.
Remember, my hand is, I train my hand to become strong.
What do you think that's what he's using the video doing? Because I've only got one glove.
You can just do this. Ah, sweet.
Wow. God, I can't believe it's over after all the making, the stirring, the packing. At the moment, I think we're going to begin. You have to wait a week before you can open the kiln from closing it down, which is a week of suspense. Ooh. And when you first look in, it can be very dismaying, really, because you look in, everything just looks grey. It's all covered with ash. And every time I go into a state of high anxiety and think the whole thing is a disaster and a calamity. Yeah, I think I put in all the shells when we packed, and it was fine straight after, but a couple of days. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, here's my big boy. And then you take everything out. It still looks really grey and crusty. So I think they, well, oh, the lid did come off. That's something.
Nice.
That could be nice.
Nice.
Oh, no, that's what I wanted to see.
Oh,
il y a des sons. Yeah, no, that's lovely.
Yes.
This is Frederique's, that's Iona.
Oh.
And that's me.
C'est joli, il y a de belles
Oh,
cendres.
beautiful.
C'est bien.
Oh,
beautiful.
Ah, c'est joli ça.
Yeah, that we took that out yesterday.
La porcelaine.
So,
Oh.
You ready, bro?
Un peu déformé, mais... Ah, la petite boîte. Et ça, c'est Iona, non?
Oui.
Ouais.
Wow.
Ah oui, joli. Ah, super. Ouais. Ouais, joli.
And another fish. Be careful.
oh, that's nice. No,
Be
that's...
careful.
Ouais.
Yeah, it's a little.
Ah, il y a un autre à côté. Huh? Oh, that looks more exciting.
Okay, Abby.
Look how pretty.
That's
C'est sur la
better.
dernière.
Sorry.
Je crois qu'il y a les deux là.
Everything falling. I need to go fast. Please.
Not too fast.
Oh, rose. Wow.
Wow.
It's Christmas.
Oh yes, this is mine. Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's you.
Rose.
Oh, that's nice. He survived.
Be careful, it's together. These two together.
Cool.
Just take it.
Take
Yeah. Oh, whose is that?
Whoa!
Ooh. Nice.
What's
Oh,
inside?
sorry. A fish!
There are other things inside other things.
A fish.
I know. The other side too.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Oh my God, Rose.
Yeah, top.
Oh, my stool. Hooray.
Oh, wow. You
Yeah,
survived.
that side's always better, isn't it?
Pam's, one of Pam's is in the water outside.
All right.
But I think that's it so far.
Iona.
Beautiful. Well, some of them just, I mean, they're all beautiful, but some of them are just stunningly beautiful.
Gosh, that's come out nice.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. The porcelain really comes out.
It can be. I mean, I'm hoping for more dramatic effects, and I'll say, oh my goodness, like Iona.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Rose! That's got to be Rose's.
It is. That is heaven.
That's
Iona.
lovely.
That's gorgeous.
That's pretty gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
They're running down.
I know.
It's so...
It's got a wonderful sheen on it too.
Look at that.
Was that a shell just impressed into it?
Yes.
That
I really didn't like how it had fired, and it's definitely better.
come out better. Oh, I love that too.
And that was what I wanted on all the porcelain, but got one anyway.
What sort of glaze was that?
That's no glaze, that's just porcelain.
That's no. Oh, it's porcelain.
And that is what you can get.
Ouais.
No.
Ah, pas mal.
So these are nice, I think. This is very dry again.
You mean rather than shiny, it comes out matte? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, it's
when,
just,
when you
can
say
see
dry?
this is dry. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just dry. It's
Yeah.
just, it's either not, you know, that's not
Yeah.
dry, and that's dry.
Yeah.
You can get matte, which isn't dry.
Right, I see.
But this is matte and dry.
Right.
Yeah, all this is in the middle, a little slightly sharp underneath.
Yeah, that's
Which
Roger's.
is nice. Lovely russet.
Oh, that's nice, Roger.
Ooh. Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Wow. Well, that's not what I expected either.
Oh,
c'est pas mal.
No, c'est pas mal. So that, sorry, I'll bring it into the light, look.
Ooh.
So that's a beauty.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
And intact.
Ouais, c'est bien.
That's more like it. Still really dry there. I think I better take this tray.
Dry means that it hasn't actually.
I'm not quite sure. Why is it so dry, Rose? Look at like my bottle.
Just a bit hidden.
Every single one of mine is stuck to something else.
Right back.
We fill these dustbins with water and put everything really, except those few things that come out radiant from the start, put them in water, and then all the crud, most of it falls off and the rest is knocked off easily with bits of wood or scrubbing brushes after a few hours of sitting in water. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is a shame. That worked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite nice. But of course it's
Lovely. I love those balls of yours.
Thank you. Well, let's see. We'll put it in the water and see.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. Oh yes, this was with lamp. Ah oui, il est beau, oui. Oui, oui. Très, très beau. Wow.
My fish has disappeared.
Donc là, I saw a fish yesterday. I think it might have moved. I think we put him in a bowl.
Wow, there's my pot.
I know.
Oh, look at that beauty. Wow.
I mean, it needs to be cleaned.
Wow. It's got bits of green on it.
I know.
I see it in the light. This was green here. This bit. And this bit was green here.
Didn't have anything.
And that was it.
Wow. It looks like something from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that really is beautiful.
Now, that would be a great pichet for wine. I wonder how it pours.
I've had really lovely fish. And then you lay them all out on the grass. To begin with, again, everything tends to look brown. And then gradually, it takes time, but gradually it's as if they come to life. And they go on coming to life. You photograph them, you pick them up, you dry them, you look at them. And after about a month of living with them, you gradually realise that some of them actually you really like. What you really want is carborundum.
Yeah.
I think I've got to bring it. That's right. But that will come off, I think, this one.
I do. Well, you know, so I could
Water is just magic. I think that'll be quite interesting.
That's lovely.
I think they're nice.
My little jug, I think I could probably file my nails on it. It's very rough, interesting, but it's almost as if the ash hasn't melted enough, it wasn't quite hot enough, or was just in a slightly cooler spot in the kiln. I don't know if it's even worth doing, you know, it's maybe some sandpaper, but it's going to have to be pretty hard. It's the ash is actually completely baked onto it. Yeah.
Bit of sandpaper, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
So
And this was the next to last piece.
So this was nearest the wood, the
Yes.
actual fire.
Yeah. And that's part of the unpredictability of the firing process. So, you know, you can't improve on that.
Completely smooth.
A bit more elbow grease. I think I used up my elbow grease this weekend, unfortunately, in the garden. But this little pot, I think, has come out really well, and I love the oranges and the burnt umbers and the bits of grey. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and the glaze inside has come out beautifully creamy and orangey, really successful. This was obviously in a happy spot in the kiln. It's just a happy chance if you get something really nice, and hey ho, you just move on from the ones you don't like.
I was interested to throw completely different things for me. This is one of them, which, as you can see, is very plain, non-shiny in most of it, and was actually bitterly disappointed. I liked the pot, but was disappointed in what happened to it. It's dull for me. It's dull. It doesn't have any warmth or anything. My second one is this one, which I must admit I quite like. But when it came out, It was also rather dull, and since then it has been reglazed into something that I much prefer.
When the pots were coming out, we were absolutely on tenterhooks to see what ours would look like. And this is how mine came out. I was surprised. I didn't expect it to look like this.
When I've scrubbed mine, the greens come through.
Well, mine's all blue.
Oh, you have?
The little, you know,
The strands have been.
Yeah, I couldn't get to it. I love that.
I know. But this, I love the fact that greens come out here.
It's fabulous. There's such a story to it.
As a finished pot, it's not necessarily what I would choose to have, but I wouldn't have missed the experience for the world. It's been great.
Now this piece, it looks like it belongs in the orcs' dining hall in Lord of the Rings. It's very masculine, it's very rough, but it looks like leather. It actually sat in the Anagama in the very, very back, and it got heavily fired with the actual flame.
Popped off a piece.
Actually, I've had two little pieces fall off of the vase, and you can see the actual color that didn't get the direct fire. That was the color of the fired clay.
This is a little super glue.
In the cleaning process, the piece did not need much cleaning. I rinsed it off with water. It didn't have any ash on it at all. It was up high in the kiln. And it basically came out looking just like this.
So there is a bit more colour than there was.
Pam's piece was a very interesting jug. It was very textured. It was in the part of the kiln that was full of ash, and the ash was actually then fused into the clay.
Which one? This is the white clay. This one, no, the grey rouge. Yeah. I can't get that off. Whoa, that's hard.
Val's got a grinder.
Yeah.
Little electric one. You could
Yeah.
just get that bit to smooth off. But I like the colour of that. It's sort of purpley.
And so while she scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed and even used a Dremel on it to be able to get some of that ash ground off, it really didn't come off.
You haven't got really any terribly sharp points.
And I think the ash actually melted right into the clay, and so there's no getting it off.
We were terribly pleased that the firing seemed to go very easily. We got to the temperature at the back and the front, which is not always the case. We thought, wow, we'd better stop because it's really going to be otherwise overfired. It seemed very, very hot. And it was very hot at the front and the back and the top and the bottom. But in the middle, there were a lot of pots that were simply dry, and that means that they hadn't really been touched by the flame enough, because the flame was able to find its way over the top of the kiln, and so it wasn't forced to go through the middle.
It's dry in the back and it's beautiful in front. Beautiful.
We didn't really have all the right pots. Turns out you need a lot of quite big round pots to go at the bottom, and then you want to pack it tight at the top because the flame will always take the easiest path. We had a lot of pots to get in because there were lots of people participating. And we really wanted to get as many pots in as we could, and it was probably too tight at the bottom, and the first shelves weren't high enough. So that was the big lesson that I took away from that firing. But luckily we had a lot of lovely pots from the top and the bottom and the back and the front, but just not from the middle. The best pots really were from my point of view, were those that had been fired either on shells or with shells inside them. We had an absolutely stunning array of scallop shells, which were particularly flat and they hadn't been overwashed. So they left an amazing kind of, just an amazingly vibrant orange residue, like hands. And that saved the firing, really. I've had bowls and flour bricks and a couple of jugs with those marks on. And those shells came from a very special beach somewhere in the north of France.
Thank you. Is that for me or do I pass it?
What did we do before we found you?
I don't know. No, I don't.
I know, I've just been admiring that. I'm going to make one.
Well done, and didn't we have fun?
The Anagama group.
That's right. Absolutely. It was really good. It was fantastic. I would never have done it otherwise.
No,
I know.
no.
And thank you, Val.
Yes, thank you, Val.